Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Veena ji, will you do the Dhyana shlokas, please?
Yes, sir. Hari Om. ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्स सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजल गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा धुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तक केशवः पाराशर्यवछा सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटम् नानाख्यानतकेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनबोधितं लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद्भारतपङ्कजं कलिमल प्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुत स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुसुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Sir, you are on mute, sir.
Yeah, so we were starting with verse number 9. So we have covered up to verse number 8 and verse number 9. So up to verse number 8, we are seeing what we have seen just now is that Arjun, before Arjun sees something, Sanjay is now going to describe what is being seen. Now, there is a lot of question that has come about in this. Was Sanjay also equally able to see the Vishwarupa Darshan sitting in Hastinapur? Now, I don't want to get into that, right? It is actually immaterial because whether Jesus existed or not, the teachings of the Bible are important. Whether Krishna physically existed or not, the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita are important. Whether there is a Rishi called Yajnavalkya or not is less relevant than whether Brihadaranyaka Upanishad has a teaching that we can make use of in our lives. So, from that perspective, whether physically, whether there was Sanjay actually had some CCTV or a team of drones who was able to relay and so on and so forth, not really valid question at this point of time. So what we will actually start off with, we'll start off with what Sanjay is describing. So let us see. Sanjaya Uvacha. Sanjaya Uvacha. Eva Muktva Tato Rajan. Eva Muktva Tato Rajan. Mahayogeshwaro Harihi. Mahayogeshwaro Harihi. Eva Muktva Tato Rajan. Mahayogeshwaro Harihi. Darshayamasa Parthaya. Darshayamasa Parthaya. Paramam Rupamaishwaram. Paramam Rupamaishwaram. Darshayamasa Parthaya. Paramam Rupamaishwaram. Eva Sanjaya Uvacha. Eva Muktva Tato Rajan. Mahayogeshwaro Harihi. Darshayamasa Parthaya. Paramam Rupamaishwaram. Just one word of caution while we are chanting. It is not Sanjaya Uvacha, it is Sanjaya Uvacha. That is a important aspect. In chapter 10, we have seen that Krishna says, of all the letters, I am a. Right? So don't eat up Krishna. So Krishna should not be eaten up. We have to pronounce all the A's wherever they come. Right? People with North Indian mother tongue bias, they have this problem. South India, we don't have that problem. We have different problems. We'll talk about those problems when we come across. Right? So the Sanjay is now saying, Evam Uktva. Evam, thus Uktva, having spoken. Who spoke? Krishna spoke. Right? Dadami te divya chakshum, etc. etc. So Krishna spoke. Rajan is king. He's addressing Dhrtarashtra, so he's saying king. Mahayoga Ishvara. He who controls yoga is called Yogeshwara. Mahayogeshwara means he who controls all types of yoga. Now, all types of yoga meaning, what is yoga? Yoga means union. Union of what? Atma, Jivatma, Paramatma, union is called yoga. Right? So, if we are saying that Krishna should be able to, Mahayogeshwara, he has this ability to take us through any method of yoga. Multiple methods of yoga are under his control. And we have seen that. Karma yoga will take you there. Jnana yoga will take you there. Bhakti yoga will take you there. Practices of Kriya and meditation will take you there. Raja yoga, as it is called by Swami Vivekananda. Right? All of that is there in Bhagavad Gita itself. In this text alone, all the methods are given. So therefore, Mahayogeshwara. Hari. What does the word Hari mean? Any answers?
Harati, the one who removes our
very
problems.
Nice. Yes. Yes. Sa harati atha harihi. Right? He who removes.
And also,
yeah.
And also the one, after removing the obstacles, who makes the right things to get ankur, to sprout.
Because he is Hari, the word Hari, very nice, very beautiful. Hari means green. Right? But Hari also means lion. And Hari also means monkey. Lion. Hari means lion. And Hari also means monkey. So there is a beautiful story. It's a story in one of the Purans. I've forgotten which Puran. It's not in Bhagavad Puran, somewhere else. So Narad, in the getting trapped in Maya, he falls in love with a particular girl. So he goes to Vishnu and he says that I need to win her. And now this girl who is being we are talking about is actually an avatar of Lakshmi. So she can only marry Vishnu, obviously. Now the Bhakta has come and is saying, there is this woman on earth who I want to marry. But with my face, I can never get married to her. So please make me look like Hari. Vishnu says, Tathastu. Then they go to the Swayamvar. And everybody's looking at him and laughing. And he's wondering, why are people looking at me and laughing? And the girl comes, she looks at him, she laughs, and she puts the mala on Vishnu. So Vishnu then, this girl, she starts questioning, why are people laughing at me? So the girl puts up a mirror and shows. And Narad gets very angry and he says, because you have treated me like a monkey, without the help of monkeys, you will not be able to recover your wife. See, in our Purans, they tie up all the stories so beautifully, isn't it? So Hari means he who removes. Removes what? All the impediments that are preventing us from union. What is preventing us from union? Our vasanas, our identification with the body, mind, our ego, right? But if we start surrendering to Hari, then Sri Hari Vishnu will take away all of that. And hence, he is addressed here as Hari. Then, Darshayam Asa, displayed. Thus displayed. Parthaya, to Partha, Parthaya. Paramam, divine, Rupam, Aishwaram, the divine form, the form with glory that he is showing over here. So that is what the first thing he says. We will do 10 and 11 together because it's a descriptive set of shlokas. Anekavatra nayanam, Anekavatra nayanam, Anekadbhuta darshanam, Anekadbhuta darshanam, Anekavatra nayanam, Anekadbhuta darshanam, Anekadivyabharanam, Anekadivyabharanam, Divyanekodyatayudham, Divyanekodyatayudham, Anekadivyabharanam, Divyanekodyatayudham, Anekavatra nayanam, Anekadbhuta darshanam, Anekadivyabharanam, Divyanekodyatayudham, Divyamalyabharam dharam, Divyamalyambaradharam, Divyagandhanulepanam, Divyagandhanulepanam, Divyamalyambaradharam, Divyagandhanulepanam, Sarvashcharyamayam devam, Sarvashcharyamayam devam, Anantam Vishwatomukham, Anantam Vishwatomukham, Sarvashcharyamayam devam, Anantam Vishwatomukham, Divyamalyambaradharam, Divyagandhanulepanam, Sarvashcharyamayam devam, Anantam Vishwatomukham, Aneka Vaktra, many faces, many mouths, right? Many faces, many mouths. Yes. Yes, Lalita ji.
Nothing to do with this shloka, but sorry, I was not able to catch up on the earlier one. So only the 8th shloka, if you could again explain, it would be very nice. It's one, I like it very much, but I would like to hear from you.
Which one? 8th one.
It's the Divyam Dadami Te.
Okay. So, Natu Mam Shakyase Drashtum Anenaiva Swachakshusha Divyam Dadami Te Chakshu Pashyame Yogameshwaram. This is what Krishna is saying, right? He is saying that with your Swachakshu, with your limited means that is available to you, Swachakshu, my eyes. How many eyes do you have? The moment you say 2 eyes means you are looking at everything with duality. The moment you say you have 2 eyes means you are looking at everything with duality, which is why Shiva is portrayed with 3 eyes. He has non-dual vision. He has both dual vision when he interacts with the world, non-dual vision when he withdraws from the world. That is why Trinetram. Devi is also sometimes portrayed with 3 eyes. In Lalita, she is definitely described with 3 eyes. So this 3 eyes concept. Now we have 2 eyes only, and therefore we see this world as 2-eyed with duality. For that matter, both your left eye and your right eye see the same thing differently. Try it. Close one eye, change the perspective, and look at it from your right eye, and you will see the thing slightly different. Angle has changed, color has changed, your ability to perceive has changed. So he's saying, with your limited perception, swachakshusha, you will not be able to perceive what I am talking. At this point of time, I have shown you that every pot that you have seen has mud in it. Chapter 10.
Has got?
Mud in it. Every pot that I have shown you has mud in it. Correct?
Yeah.
And I have shown you the best of pots. I have shown you the best of pots. When it comes to a river, I have shown you the best of the rivers. When it comes to a fish, I have shown you the best of fish, and so on and so forth. As a representation, now I am showing you a whole bunch of mud. And I am telling you, perceive in it all possibilities. Possibilities. Let us take some scientific explanation here, not for the shloka, as an example. What is the basis of life on earth? Which element is the basis of life on earth?
The DNA.
We are called carbon-based life, organic, right? Some people tell me, हम लोग ना खाली organic खाते हैं. So I said, okay, show me how you can eat inorganic. Inorganic means it should not have carbon in it. Anything that is organic will have carbon. Anything that is inorganic will not have carbon. So sugar is organic, salt is inorganic. That is what we learned when we did organic chemistry and inorganic chemistry. Correct? So this our life is based out of carbon. Now, therefore, silicon is a poison to us. Essentially, it's a poison. Right? In silicon in large quantities means we will die. Now, can you imagine life that is based out of silicon and carbon is a poison to that life? Can you imagine it? Our even greatest biological scientists can't imagine that. They can't figure it out. For that matter, aisa concept, if I tell them, their first reaction will be, not possible. Not possible. Right? Go back to Christopher Columbus and say, the world is round. Not possible. Right? Yes, Raghuji.
Given the similarities in chemical structure between silicon and carbon, the cosmologists, they say that somewhere in this universe, there must be silicon life forms because it has got so much similarity to carbon that it can create similar molecules and everything.
Agreed. I've read that, and that is why I used silicon. I'm now going to change it and say phosphorus-based.
Yeah.
Right? Phosphorus-based life form. Phosphorus in nature, natural form in the world, on Earth, it will self-combust. It will burst into flames.
Because oxygen is there.
Because oxygen is there. Now you go to another place where phosphorus is there and there is no oxygen, there is only nitrogen, and life has come into being. Can you imagine that also? Will such an imagination also come in your mind? Most probably not. Right? So I am showing you a whole immensity, and now I'm asking you to imagine all possibilities in this. You can't see it with your own eyes. And therefore, I have to change your perspective. I have to give you a perspective which is very different from what you have been seeing. That is called Divyam Dadamite Chakshum. Yes, please.
Even, you don't have to go to a concept that is more difficult to, let's say, hydrogen is flammable. When you are burning a Bunsen burner with hydrogen, it burns. It's flammable. It combines with air, the oxygen in air, and it burns, creates water. But is oxygen flammable? Well, try to do this. Push oxygen through the Bunsen burner and keep a jar of hydrogen over it. The oxygen will burn exactly like a flame. So as esoteric as silicon-based life forms or phosphorus-based life forms, our perception blocks that. Say, how come oxygen is not flammable? If it is flammable, how am I living with so much oxygen around me? Okay, that's not true. Oxygen is flammability is simply the presence of two combustible components.
So the whole idea here is, therefore, Lalitaji, to recap this, is that our perspective is so limited that with that limited perspective, it is not possible to envisage something that is so immense. Right? You live somewhere in Powai, right? Now, if I ask you to close your eyes and imagine the distance from Powai to Kandivali in your mind, even that we can't do. Correct? And we say what? बहुत समय लगेगा. बहुत समय लगेगा. Right? When I came to Bombay for the first time.
The next street both.
So when I came to Bombay for the first time, I was very young at that time. I was in class 7 or 8. First time I came independently. And I used to stay with one of my aunts in Bandra. And I was to go and meet somebody, another aunt, in somewhere near Girgaon Chowpatty. So I asked her, how far is it? So her question was, at what time? Now, this is beyond my possibility, right? It is like a Zen thinking. What do you mean by saying at what time? This is like saying, oh, Bangalore is, Veena lives in Bangalore now. So Bangalore in the morning is 300 kilometers closer. In the afternoon, it goes 500 kilometers distant. What do you mean? What time? She said, you won't understand. In Bombay, time is important. And therefore, you measure distance in time. How far are you away? 45 minutes. Right? It's a possibility that somebody else, you go to somebody in USA, you go to somebody in UK and you tell him, I'm 45 minutes away. He will completely get zapped. He will not understand what you are saying. So then what will you have to do?
Yeah.
You have to give him a change in perspective. You have to give him Divya Chakshu. Right? So that is the Divya Chakshu that Krishna is giving, not what V.R. Chopra showed. Okay, please, I mean, V.R. Chopra, all respects, did a huge work, brought a lot of the Mahabharata alive to a lot of people. He wove in very clearly, he has also said it himself, that he has woven in, he has not restricted himself only to Vyasadeva, but he has brought in all the local stories and woven them into the entire story of Mahabharata. So that is okay. He was also a storyteller. And he is also driven by TRP. So that's a different perspective. So here we have Divyam dadami te chakshu pashyame yogameshwaram. Then only you will be able to see the yogameshwaram that I am showing you. Now, what is our man, Mr. Sanjaya, seeing? He is seeing, now he is seeing unlimitedness. And he has no words for it. Everything that he is seeing is beyond his normal perception. And therefore, he just uses words like Divya and Aneka. In the 10th mandala of the Rig Veda, there is a sukta called Purusha Sukta. It starts by saying Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha Sahasraksha Sahasrapat. Now, if you have 1,000 heads, how many eyes are you supposed to have?
2,000.
2,000.
Unless you're
Right?
Cyclops.
So 1,000 heads with one eye only, not possible. What is he saying? Sahasra is a number to indicate a multitude, an immensity. Similarly, here we see a definition coming from Aneka Vaktra, Anek Adbhuta Darshanam, Adbhuta. What is Adbhuta? What is the meaning of the word Adbhuta? Adbhuta, wonderful. one of the meanings. Also, it means awesome, that which creates a feeling of awe. It creates a feeling of wonder, right? It creates that feeling of a sense of awe. I'm amazed, but at the same time, I have this small fear or a small, when you see this, when you stand on a plateau edge and you are looking at the immensity of the Himalayas and all the entire peaks, one after another, get that feeling. Suddenly everything is so expanded, right? You must try this at some point of time, to go to a place called Madhya Maheshwar. And Madhya Maheshwar is in the valley. Then you have to climb up for about 1.5 kilometers to reach a top, a plateau, which is where Arjuna is supposed to have done his penance for getting the Divyastras, and the Kirata Leela happened over there. And when you stand there, you have a 360-degree view. And all around you, you have only the Himalayas looking at you. And you will feel the last word of the 2 shlokas that we did, Vishwato Mukham. Vishwato Mukham. Whichever direction I turn, I see you only. Not the popular painting, Krishna standing, and then behind him there is this whole gigantic figure, and Arjuna is looking in towards him. Whichever direction you turn, left, right, up, down, all the directions, all the 10 directions, all the 100 points of the compass, all of them, they are only there. And they are not only there at one level, they are there stretching into infinity. Anantam. Anantam. So he says, yes, I'll come back to you. And therefore, all of this is causing an ashcharya, a surprise. Because this has never been seen, this has never been perceived by me. Standing here immediately, within a moment, I've suddenly expanded my vision. Yes, Raghuji.
So, I don't know where we came across the term Vishwato Mukham earlier, where you said he was facing in each direction, all directions. Now you're saying his face is in every direction.
Both senses are right. Yeah. So,
I guess it doesn't matter. He is everywhere.
So, both the meanings are essentially the same, isn't it? Vishwato Mukham.
I understand.
Basically means his face is in every direction, basically means that he is, I am seeing him in every place, whichever way you want to see it. So,
it makes sense, because if you're looking if your face is in every direction, then wherever you stand and look towards him, you'll see his face. But then also, if you're standing in one place and you see his face everywhere, the same thing holds true also. Probably it's a larger concept in a sense. That his face is everywhere. That is
in chapter 9, verse number 15, you have to remember, he says, Jnana yagyena chapi vanye yajanta mamupasate ekatvena pritatvena bahuda vishwato mukham. That is what he said, right? That's when we looked at saying that the others, they worship me in various different forms. Vishwato mukham. In whichever direction, all the directions that I'm looking at, they are all me. Whichever way you want to look at it, it depends on the way in which what you want to divide the samas. So, Divya, now he goes a little differently. He says, Aneka Divya Bharanam, Divya Nekodhyata Yudham, Divya Bharanam, divine ornaments. Now, if I am a beautiful describer, until now we have seen that Sanjaya is a very, very detailed describer, right? And a very honest describer. He is not biased by any report of somebody else. So he is exactly describing what he sees. Then he should have said, Manibandha, Angulikam, Keyuram, right? Keyura is the ornament worn on the upper arm. Mala, Tatanga, Nasikam, all right? So Nasabharanam, Tilakam, all this. He could have used these words. There are so many beautiful words describing each ornament. And with the descriptive powers of Sanjaya, He could have described all of that, saying he is wearing this, he is wearing that. There's a beautiful shloka that describes Jagannath Ji of Puri, and it starts with Nasa Bharana Bhaukti, Nasa Gre Mauktika Manim. Nasa Gre Mauktika Manim. He wears the beautiful pearl necklace on his, and when you go to Jagannath Puri, you will see that necklace. It is there on his, on him, adorning him. Nasa Gre Mauktika Manim. And that entire stotram describes each ornament, each expression of his, of that statue over there. Our poets had that power. Now they've lost it. They are unable to describe it. Right? Sanjaya has grown up, yes, Raghuji. Yet Sanjaya has grown up in a Kshatriya environment. He's a charioteer. He knows the astras. He may not know how to use them, but he knows the astras. But instead of being able to describe the astras, he says, Aneka Divya Ayudham. Right? And how are the weapons? Udyata. Anekudyata Ayudham. Lifted, uplifted. They are ready to be used. The Ayudhas are all ready to be used. Similarly, he is not only seeing, he has a special type of TV which also enables him to smell. Because he says, Divya Gandhanulepam. Correct? So how does he know? Divya Gandhanulepam. How does he know that the smell is beautiful? Now he's perceiving something that he has not perceived before, and therefore he is actually, all his senses, all the five senses have started getting into sort of Zen shock. Right? You know the whole concept of Kwan. In Zen, there is this concept of Kwan. Kwan means a sort of statement, sutra. In Sanskrit, we will call it sutra. And the teacher will give you that sutra and he will ask you to meditate on it. And your inability to find a meaning of that sutra causes the mind to short circuit. For example, one of my favorite Zen koans is meditate on the sound of one hand clapping. Now, to imagine that also, one hand clapping, and my mind will ultimately shut down. It cannot imagine it, and it will therefore become zero. Yes, Raghuji.
I just realized, see, Krishna gave the Divya Drishyam to Arjuna. But for Sanjay to see it, he must have also given the Divya Drishyam to Sanjaya. And he knows Sanjaya is telling this to Dhrtarashtra. How much must be his compassion that despite everything that happened, he wants Dhrtarashtra to hear this. I think about it. It's difficult. I get tears in my eyes. It's amazing how compassionate he is.
So that is the basic nature of the divine is, and we talked about it in the last session where we were doing Devi, that prema is the essential nature of the divine. Ishvara is prema. There is no doubt about that. And prema means unconditional love. We have all our relationships. They originate from me and mine, isn't it? All our relationships. They originate from me and mine alone. Even your own love for your mother or your mother's love for you has a transactional element. It may be small, but there is a transactional element involved. The only place where there is no transactional element, one-sided at least, you are expecting, the other side is not, happens only in two places. One, with Ishvara, and other, the representation of Ishvara in this world, your Guru. And that is why we say Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. The love, it is not because he is teaching, it is because he loves you unconditionally. It doesn't matter. You're a good student, bad student. If he has accepted you as a student, he loves you. Full stop. So therefore, here we see that, yes, Lalita ji.
Raghuji was telling about Sanjaya, but there were two other people who met. And what's his name? Babralaka? Ghatotkachasan?
Barbaric.
Bab.
Correct. That is Arjuna. See, that is a story.
Barbaric.
Correct. Barbaric, the story is not in Vyasa. It's a local story of Rajasthan, which has been woven into the Mahabharata. So the story of Barbaric is so he is now called Shyam. So and they worship him as Khatu ke Shyamji. Khatu ke Shyamji. Khatu is the place where the head of a mustachioed person is kept, and it is worshipped as Sri Krishna himself, because apparently, according to the story, he was the son of Ghatotkacha who had some special powers, but that powers would have destroyed the Kauravas, the Pandavas also, and hence Krishna beheaded him. Having beheaded him, he gave him the boon that he will stay up there on the top of the hill and be able to see the entire battlefield and be able to stay. And he gave him the vision, the cosmic vision also. Another person who also got a similar cosmic version, we talked about it last time, I think, is Yashoda. So when she gave him one slap, tight slap, very hard, on the cheek, and he opened his mouth to cry, and she fainted. Right? You must Google for something called fractal. F-R-A-C-T, fraction ka fractal. Right? If you Google, you will understand what I am talking about. What he saw over there is what she saw was the earth. In that earth, there is Bharat Desha. In the Bharat Desha, there is a Vrindavan. In the Vrindavan, there is a young boy who is being beaten by his mother, who has opened his mouth. He goes in, zoom in further. In that mouth, there is a earth. In that earth, there is a Bharat Desha. In that Bharat Desha, there is a Vrindavan. Infinity. And what happened to her? She fainted. Why? Because, you see, Arjuna has been somewhat prepared, not fully, somewhat prepared to accept this in front of him. Yashoda was not prepared at all. Now just imagine, if you have you are like me, let us say, and you show me one mirchi, I will start getting it, right? You just have to show me one mirchi. That is all, it will start my hiccups. Now I can't eat mirchi at all. Now, if I have to get used to Andhra cooking, then there has to be a way to that, right? So you take one small piece of the mirchi, put it in the tongue, throw it out. Next day, you put it in the tongue for a little longer, so on and so forth. Same thing. You go to the gym, you see somebody lifting 150 kilos, deadlift 150 kilos. Oh, I also want to. You can't even move that weight. Right? But you start with 5 kilos. Will you reach 150? If you can persist, you will reach. Same way, the conditioning to be able to accept infinity is a journey from chapter 1 to chapter 11. You cannot start with chapter 11 and understand even head or tail of that. There is no way you can understand chapter 11 without having understood the journey from chapter 1 to chapter 10. Because if that happens, what will happen is what happened to Yashoda. You'll faint and forget everything. The moment she woke up, she has forgotten. She even forgot the fact that she slapped him. And she dragged him by the ear and took him back home and said, okay, now take a bath again, and so on and so forth. So, just a complete aside, I don't know if I said this earlier. This is the Advaitic view of the story of Vishwarupa Darshan inside the mouth. The Dvaita view, the Bhakti view, is that on the multiple universes that were inside, that is that are there in the physical body of Sri Krishna himself, they were all clamoring for the earth of the dust of Vrindavan. To reach that dust to the entire universe, he swallowed it. That is what they say. And hence, when you go to Vrindavan, it is the dust there that you put on your head and you say Radhe Radhe. You don't say Krishna, right? Vrindavan is ruled by Radha. That is the reason is that. So that is the bhakti view. Anyway. So coming back, he says, Aneka.
I didn't understand what you said about the earlier part in this. The Advaita people, how did they explain?
The universality, it is the whole vision of infinity. What Yashoda saw is infinity. But if I cannot absorb infinity in one go, if I'm not prepared to understand infinity, if I'm not prepared myself to expand myself to look at the infinity, I am still struggling with my own limitations. What will happen? Short circuit, faint, go, and you forget. Right? What do we call it?
Not that. The Advaita.
The Dvaita view. The Dvaita view is very beautiful. Oh, the other universes are works that are inside Sri Krishna. They are saying Vrindavan is not in the universe. See, that is the view. Vrindavan is a separate place. Goloka Vrindavan does not exist in this universe. It is non-material. It is a spiritual place. But the Raja means dirt, right? The mud. That mud of that earth, the dust of that Vrindavan, all the universes were clamoring. And they were saying, Lord, you have come down onto Goloka Vrindavan. Now please send the dust to us. Let us also enjoy Vrindavan. Let us enjoy the dust of Sri Radhika's feet. So he ate it. That is the view that the Krishna Bhaktas take. So here he's saying, Divya Malyam Baradharam, Divya Gandhanulepanam, Sarvashcharyamayam Devam, Anantam Vishwato Mukham. So that is the explanation for these two. Here he has started failing. Right. He has started failing with words. And he has started using large adjectives. Divyam, Anekam, etc., etc. Yes, Lalita ji, you wanted to say something.
No, I just were telling about Vrindavan. I'll be there on 17th.
Very nice. So I'll take a small...
For a couple of days, we'll be there.
So
yes, please
two, three things. One, please remind me at some point of time. I will send you my Guru Bhai's phone number. Please contact him. He is a local over there. He is in charge of the Chappan Bhog at Bhakya Bihariji. So he will be able to help you. He will also be able to tell you as to which are the places you should visit and how to visit and so on and so forth. He will arrange for the rickshaw and all that. That is one part of it. Second is, as far as Vrindavan itself is concerned, please do not step on that soil with your slippers. Keep your slippers in the car or wherever. The moment you reach Vrindavan, take your slippers off, put it in a bag and be barefoot only. That whole place radiates with that energy, which is unbelievable. And therefore, please be open to that. Try and go around in the evening, just roaming around, and every house you will see Sankirtan happening, that wafting of that beautiful divine incense smell, the sounds, the entire, let all your five senses get involved in Krishna. And you will see Sarvam Radha Mayam Jagat.
Okay. We will be going in a big group. It's everything is arranged. Sort of, they will take us around.
No problem.
We cannot come out of the group.
No problem.
Whatever
the group.
But we have also been told. Yeah, but we have also been told about leaving the slippers, footwear in the bus itself.
Very nice.
They have told us that. Yeah, but I didn't know the reason. The reason I got to know from you just now. But they have told that not to wear the footwear. By the way, now from this after Mathura we will be getting down. Then Mathura, Vrindavan, Gokul, Ayodhya and Varanasi.
Okay.
So anything for these places where we need see that part.
Okay, we will
seeing the logistics they will take care of. So it's only what we can consume in that.
Well, we will
all
take that offline.
Kshetras.
We will take
Yeah.
that offline. Right. Last shloka for the day today. Now see this description. Again, he fails. His words start failing. He says, Divi Surya Sahasrasya. Divi Surya Sahasrasya. Bhavedyugapadutthita. Bhavedyugapadutthita. Divi Surya Sahasrasya. Bhavedyugapadutthita. Yadi bhasadrishi sa. Yadi bhasadrishi sa. स्याद्भासास्तस्य महात्मनः स्याद्भासस्तस्य महात्मनः यदि भासदृशी सा स्याद्भासस्तस्य महात्मनः दिवि सूर्यसहस्रस्य भवेद्युगपदुत्थिता यदि भासदृशी सा स्याद्भासस्तस्य महात्मनः. So Mahatmanaha, great personality, right? Great personality, because there is the only way to describe it. Now he says that the splendor of this is equal to 1,000 suns that have risen. 1,000 suns, not rising. In Lalita we see Udyat Bhanu Sahasrabha, rising sun. Utthita, they have risen. Now, how many suns can you look at? Not even one. So when I say this is the glory of 1,000 suns, what are we saying? Are we just being poetically, metaphorically? No, the glory, the immensity of what he is seeing. See, these shlokas require you to go and do a deep manan. You cannot understand them at an intellectual level. And therefore, my request will be today, right away, if you have time, just sit with these shlokas only. Till now, we have not even gone into the real description that Arjuna will start off with. Sanjaya is describing at this point of time. And just experience that which you cannot have experienced earlier. Just open your eyes and look at everything around you. And feel that sense of wonder, feel that sense of awe, that all that you see around you is radiating with the presence of consciousness. When that happens, what will happen is that you will not be able to function in the world. Your ability to function in the world also ceases. We will see that happen with Arjuna also. Arjuna will start getting scared. He says, I am getting scared because I will no longer be a warrior. I will merge into you. My individual identity. Did we not see that when we hear of Sri Ramakrishna and Vivekananda? Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa touched him with his feet. And Swami Vivekananda says, what are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? I have a family. I have my mother to take care of. What are you doing to me? That immediate fright is because we are not conditioned. Now, Arjuna is able to see this much and also still tolerate that much is because he has gone through chapter 1 to 10. And his mental attitude has changed from saying, the Gandhi is slipping from my hand and I am sweating and so on and so forth, to a point where he has started asking relevant spiritual questions. And therefore, he is able to absorb this. In one of the Gita Jnana Yagyas, somebody asked Gurudev that Sri Krishna himself showed him the Vishwarupa Darshan. We are only reading about it. He showed him the Divya Darshanam, the Vishwarupa Darshanam. Despite that, Arjuna did not learn. So Gurudev smiled and said, typical smile of Gurudev, and Mandasmita Suraha is how I would describe him. And with that smile, he said, because he did not have Chinmaya to interpret. So, see, I mean, the funny part aside, Arjuna did not have time to absorb this, to do internalize this. And hence what Gurudev was talking when that person came and told him, I have gone through the Gita 10 times. Gurudev asked him, saying, allow the Gita to go through you for at least once. That is what it means, no? Whether it is Chinmaya or whether it is Vallabhacharya, whether it is Shankara Bhashya, it doesn't matter. The reading it, understanding it, absorbing it, internalizing it, applying it. That is what we need to do. So here he has come back here with a immensity again. So while it is we are trying to limit it. He's actually using unlimitation, the concept of infinity again, right? But by saying, oh, 1,000, is it only 1,000? Is it not? Can it not be 10,000? For your eyes, for your physical eyes, one is enough to blind you. You don't need 1,000, you don't need 10,000. So it is the spiritual eyes which are seeing. It is perception beyond what my physical senses can perceive. So we will stop here and we will carry on from here till the next session. Next Saturday onwards, we will start off again with the Aparokshanubhuti also. Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.